Doesn't he go away, the old Field Marshal? He might do, I don't know. And no spoilers about who dies and who doesn't. I don't want to know. Pretty sure avoiding the US Civil War is just down to event choices, fair enough. Love playing as Austria or Japan on Kaiserreich. Austria is good, I just prefer Germany. But I think that's just my personal bias against playing as Austria in games. Russia. I like Russia a lot. Now you need to form a coalition party and vote in a not so well known guy from like Iowa who's part of the Progressive Party. Okay, Bill Moose. Ah. You're not training. Why are you not training? You should be. You're just not right now. Oh, I know what else I'm missing. Please do automatically split off. Please have automatic reinforcement. And you guys are medium risk. You lot. Split off enabled. Low risk engagement. So we don't lose the submarines. Same with you. There we are. Glad I remembered to do that, because not automatically splitting off is bloody annoying. We still have many ships that need to be done. I think I'm going to increase the number of ships dedicated to repairs. We still need a lot of manpower. I mean, the Black Monday reforms are going to take us 70 days. I don't think I'm going to bother with reforming Middle Europa just yet. After this, I think we're going to do the Imperial restructuring and organise the youth so I can start actually getting some manpower together. And then after that, possibly get Saemond researched and done. Oh, right, yes, they got lots of... Hang on, they're back in my alliance, aren't they? Which means I need to defend their borders again. An envoy from Poland. Friedrich C. Wettin, the new king of Poland, has sent us a message asking for Poland to join the Reichspakt. Should we invite them into the Reichspakt? Yes, absolutely. Welcome to the good guys. The balance of power has begun to shift, straining the delicate post-Weltkrieg order Germany has long struggled to build. You guys don't have any orders again. No, you do. Now, did all of my planes make it home? Alsace-Lorraine, all of you. Good. Then you, and you. Stop. And you, stop. Hopefully that saves a little bit of fuel. Although, actually our fuel reserves are looking pretty decent. Speaking of fuel reserves... Hanover is still being built up, but I would very much like for Hanover to be my fuel storage. Field Hospital. December 15th. We're going to wait until January 37, then I can start getting the 37 technologies as well. Am I going to get rid of quenched militarism before the war? I'm certainly hoping to. That's probably going to be the next one that I get. I mean, we're still in December 36. War doesn't break out usually into, what, 38? White Ruthenia asked for increased self-governance. A communique from the government of the Ruthenian King Waldemar von Hohenzollern has requested more autonomy in their economic policy. They justify this both by claiming it will ease the burden of their still growing economy and the recovering German one, and that it will make their own shaky government appear more legitimate. Dire times afford sacrifices. They become a puppet. No way, shape or form shall such a thing occur. What are they now? They are a puppet. I guess they become a different level puppet. Yeah, I can accept that. Yeah, there we go. Autonomous puppet as opposed to a puppet. And... no. Waiting on the technologies. I remember what I said. I actually know what France is. They are travailler. Travailleux. Joho. Santa Claus. Joho is in charge. Yo ho ho. Hans von Zecht's funeral. The Chief of General Staff, Hans von Zecht, has died today in Berlin. The hero of the intervention in China has passed away peacefully in his sleep. Our nation is mourning the loss of a true German hero, and all important dignitaries were in attendance at his funeral in Berlin. Afterwards, the Chief of the Army, August von Mackensen, could be seen whispering something to the Kaiser in private. It was revealed shortly thereafter that Mackensen himself intends to retire. No! And suddenly my military staff just has the Red Baron in charge. Manfred von Richthofen. Oops, January. And Austria has cancelled the non-aggression pact. That doesn't bode ill at all. Alright, we're going to have to reassign the Polish Friendship Remembrance Committee to become the Austrian Peace and Friendship Remembrance Committee. Oh yeah, they have Galicia as well, don't they? Well, let's assign you to be like here. They've still got Black Monday. I mean, to be fair, so do we, but only for a couple more days. And stability is now positive, 8%. Construction speed has sped up quite significantly. And we're starting to get our fuel depots built. Good stuff. How are the submarines looking? Actually, pretty well drilled. Cool. Then we can start on the next group. In fact, we can already begin doing a few more. Keeping an eye on my fuel levels. Alright, looks like the entire group can drill. Finish Black Monday reforms. Done. We can get another 3 base stability, or we can do the Imperial restructuring. I think we really need to organise the youth so we can get our manpower sorted. While it's an undeniable fact that the German Empire is the greatest nation to ever grace the pages of history, there is always room for improvement. In light of recent shortcomings in our administration, we should look to making various policy changes and reforms for a better future. And also, we have free civilian factories, because we have gotten rid of all of the consumer goods penalties that we were shackled with. Let's see, where do we have a lot of factories? Saxony has quite a few. Upper Silesia has quite a few. That should do it for now. Death is preferable to the Habsburgs. The other thing which I'm really tempted to do is start the Air Force drilling. Okay, now we're losing fuel. Might be dumb to point out, but you manned the border with Bohemia, not Galicia. I don't know if... Yeah, I know. We no longer get the Brest-Litovsk reparations, which means we have slightly fewer civilian factories now. But that's fine. We've recovered from the worst of Black Monday. And the German economy is now humming along. That recovery really wasn't too bad. The German submarines are up to scratch. More or less. Still have a lot of destroyers here that need training, I know. But we'll wait until all of the destroyers are present. We're gaining oil again. We want to keep a little bit of a balance, especially if war does look like it's gonna break out soon. Did I enjoy Imperator Rome? Yeah, I'm just mostly looking forward to the naval update, which is supposed to be coming in June. So I'll probably tread it off a little bit from Imperator until June. And then hit it again with a vengeance. What are we doing actually for surpluses? We have quite a few guns. We are getting heavy tanks now, which is nice. Standoff in America. President John Nance Garner has experienced a major blow today as a large number of governors declared his government illegitimate, throwing their support behind either the Southern populist Huey Long or the syndicalist leader Jack Reed. They have stopped short of seceding from the Union, but have declared that the federal government holds no authority within their state borders until Garner steps down and a reconciliation council under their chosen leader is put into place to restore order to the nation. In response, President Garner has given the governors 30 days to stand down or be collectively arrested, an order none of the leaders appear interested in obeying, making it all but certain that the United States will descend into civil war in the second time in less than a century. Well, I guess it's time for us to start playing Ultimate General again. I think we found what Ultimate General Civil War 2 is going to be all about. Dougie MacArthur looks at the White House with intent. Indeed.
Right.
Imperial restructuring has been completed, so now let's go and organize the youth. Some experts have suggested the best solution against the current lawlessness of our nation's youth would be organising them so that they can learn new skills and employ their energy for public good. The Pfadfinder organisation would require increased spending for such an endeavour. Yay, investing in the scouts. I approve of that. And stability is starting slowly but surely to recover. The Austrian Empire has declared war on Hungary. Ooh. Actually, yeah, we'll finish that one, that's fine. Get the output bonuses, especially for the dockyards. Serbia crowned King Alexander II. Since the end of the Austrian occupation during the 1920s, Serbia has officially been a kingdom. They never dared crown a king as they were forced to keep a low profile in the light of further Austrian aggression. Petar Bojovic, the regent of Serbia for almost 2 decades and a keen and a known royalist, has now decided to restore the monarchy Alexander II, the son of the former King Peter I, accepted the crown and was today crowned the King of Serbia. This controversial move is likely to upset the Austrian and Bulgarian governments. Guns from Middle Africa. Another 500 guns, thank you very much. So these two are fighting. Serbia is now independent. Bulgaria is doing a lot of saber rattling. I'm somewhat surprised that this sparked off before Serbia. Sorry, before the Balkan War. Hungary just has a generic focus tree, unfortunately. That would be kind of an interesting one, actually. So how many troops does either side have? You have 20-ish? Hungary has more. Hungary has 30-something. Far fewer military factories, but they have almost identical civilian factories. This could be a fairly brutal war, actually. The Balkan powder keg, just say it. We know. Yeah, it's going to spark at some point. Elections in 1937. Today, the German people will elect their representatives to the Reichstag. The elections have been tightly fought, with the results are awaited with much anticipation. The fate of several parties, and of course the Kaiserreich itself, could be decided today. If the Social Democrats did manage to secure enough votes, the realist wing of the Social Liberal FVP will form a coalition with them. Another possibility would be a coalition of nearly all liberal and bourgeois parties, the NLP, FVP, and the Bavarian splinter party, the BVP, against the predominance of the DKP, led by the beloved Lion of Africa, Paul von Lettow-Vorbeck, or the DKP could just continue their comfortable majority. Von Papen's in charge right now. So the SPD and the realist FVP would be Social Democracy and Social Liberals. The Lion roars. Market liberalism goes up. Or change? Who needs change? Authoritarian Democrats. Where's market liberal? Where is the market liberal? Oh, there they are. 3% of the vote so far. NLP. I see them now. I mean, they would get up to 23%, but the DKP is just so much more powerful. I'd much prefer the authoritarian Democrats to stay in charge. And this also gives us more political power. And would also increase our party popularity, which would give us more political power overall. No. We don't need change. Everything's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. We have a majority, 52%. A new Reichskanzler. Under the Constitution of 1871, there is no formal government in the Kaiserreich. Instead, the Kaiser appoints a person of his liking to the post of Reichskanzler, who then fills the state secretary post of the Reichsleitung, or the Reichsadministration. Even though the DKP defended their Reichstag majority in the elections, this does not mean the Kaiser has to keep Franz von Papen. What shall we do? Von Papen's the man from the job. Happier amateur. Construction speed goes down, but he does generate more political power. We can have Heinrich Brüning, who produces more political power and resource gain efficiency. We also get Hjalmar Schacht as our economy minister, which is daily political power gain and construction speed plus 4%. So we would overcome all the construction penalties that we currently have. And Schacht is already in charge, actually. And Zeicher would be new. Minister of the Interior. More political power gain and more construction speed. Or Kurt von Schleicher. Paternal autocrats. He's very militaristic. No, definitely not him. It's one of these two. So Brüning, I think he is overall slightly better than von Papen. Same political power gain. You have construction speed, which he doesn't have. And Sliker comes in with the even more political power, though he's a paternal autocrat, which I don't like. Yeah, I don't like having someone else from a different one, so we're going to keep von Papen. Also, if we keep von Papen, we can do this. Which we're not allowed to do with Bruning. And this is just free stability if we decide to go with that. Von Papen stays. And we've almost recovered our political power deficit too at this point. Who is in charge of Illyria? This would be Stepan Radic. One of the proponents of Croatian independence until he and his brother were shot in parliament by a Serb nationalist who shouted, "Long live Greater Serbia," and he was sent to prison where he joined all the privileges of royalty. Yeah, they've changed some of the portraits in this. Like Mosley. Mosley the Smug Slug's been changed as well, I think. The Ford. The Freie Arbeitsunion Deutschland, or the Free Workers' Union of Germany, is an umbrella organization of several trade unions founded during the turbulent period of 1919 during the French Revolution. They repeatedly denounced the syndicalist terror and therefore been allowed to operate unimpeded until now. However, intelligence services have produced definite proof that their leaders are in contact with syndicalist organizations in other nations, such as the CNTFAI in Spain. We also suspect that some members may be directly plotting against the Kaiser. Jail the leaders and ban the party, force them underground. Or allow them to continue, but watch them closely. Jail them and ban them. They're un-German. Oh, no, I shouldn't say that. Stability continues to rise. Ruling party popularity doesn't actually increase stability. Interesting. And here it is. To those not in the know, it might seem like a crisis in the United States came out of nowhere, but experts agree that this is a civil war years in the making. Since the collapse of the New York Stock Exchange in 1925, the economy of the United States has been sluggish and mired in deep recession. Now, the United States has collapsed into all-out civil war between the supporters of the federal government, the Combined Syndicates of America, and the right-wing American Union State. Volunteers are pouring in from around the world to support one faction or another, with some characterizing the bitter ideological conflict as simply part of a wider global clash of ideals. The destiny of America is at stake. So how's this looking? And more to the point, which side do we want to support? You quite like us, you like us a little less, and you hate us. So probably the American Union State. Waiting to see the Pacific states emerge, if they do. What path has Mexico gone on? Mexico has gone radical socialist. Nothing happening, really? How is this looking in terms of how strong they are? The syndicates have definitely the most troops. American Union State has the least of basically everything. Although, I'm still expecting the United States to split when the Pacific States emerge. Their first focus was the American Navy. Really? Really? We're fighting a massive civil war. I know, let's get the fleet together. I mean, that's a very Mordred move right there. But probably not the most smart. I mean, the USA is going for radar, but that's probably what they were already researching before the Civil War broke out. Whoa, they're all the way down here already? Blimey. I think you may have been focusing a little bit too much on the Air Force and not enough on your internal politics. Pacific States will not show up if MacArthur does not take over. Really? Didn't know that. No, Canada has not claimed that yet. I think we're going to go and support the American Union state. We can send 4. So the question then is who and what? I think we're going to send Poznik. 2 guards and 2 Kraftwagen divisions. Troops on the way. And then we're also going to send you Lend-Lease of 5,000 guns. Panama has joined the Entente. With the eruption of the war in North America, the balance of power suddenly and perhaps irrevocably changed. There will be consequences for this region and beyond. And we now have 100 tanks. You're still a guard division. I want to change my guard division slightly. Where are they? There. Because... oh, you don't have any army experience. Damn it. I was going to start adding some heavy tanks to them. The fall of Vienna. The Habsburg capital is lost. A few days ago, the Hungarian army pinned the remaining Austrian soldiers on the banks of the Danube, and rumour has it that the Austrian royal family fled while they could. Now the city is completely controlled by Hungary, its many artists and musicians living in apprehension of what will become the cultural bastion of Europe. Hungary is planning a great military parade around the Ringstrasse in celebration of this massive military feat, and the Hungarian general in charge of the occupation is going to address the citizens from the balcony of Neuerberg to try and ease the worries of a population worn by weeks of fighting. I mean, they're completely cut off, but well done. Why do I have different types of infantry? Because I started with those and I never bothered consolidating them into one type. That's why they all have different icons, so I can see which are different. Eventually I will consolidate, but I haven't had the arms and ornaments to do that just yet. How are you doing for convoys, by the way? You don't have very many. So I'm going to modify my Lend-Lease. I'm going to send you 50 convoys. Now it should be noted that they've changed the way Lend-Lease works, so convoys don't actually cost any convoys to send. They used to. Democracy prevails in the Philippines. Having just achieved independence from the United States, the Philippines faced today perhaps one of the most serious challenges any new country can face. Inspired by the combined syndicates of America and the Baratia Commune, disgruntled army officers marched on Manila to support the rebelling peasants and workers. Their attempt was quickly thwarted as loyalists. Units in the army reaffirmed their support for and intervened in favour of the legitimate democratic Filipino government and drove the rebellious army out of the capital, ending the threat of a syndicalist coup before it could even hatch. Philippines stayed democratic. That's actually fairly rare. Well played. And there was a question earlier of whether the Philippines have a focus tree. No, they don't.